Assalamu alaikum. Today I will discuss about a genetic disease known as Liddle syndrome. All of you know that this syndrome leads to primary hypertension. That means the hypertension is caused by a genetic mutations in your chromosome. Okay? So let's start. So at first I want to show you the nephron. Okay? So all of you know that in nephron there is renal tubules and glomerulus. So all of you know that in a renal tubule there are four segments. That means proximal convoluted tubules and a loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubules and collecting tubules. So in these collecting tubules there are a lots of epithelial sodium channel. That means here are epithelial sodium channel. Okay, this is called epithelial sodium channel, and this epithelial sodium channel reabsorbs sodium from the glomerular filtrates into peritubular capillary. Okay, here is the peritubular capillary. Okay, that means we know that the reabsorption of sodium in collecting tubule is totally depends on epithelial sodium channel. Okay, if there is more epithelial sodium channel, then more sodium reabsorption will be happen, and if there is less number of epithelial sodium channel, less sodium reabsorption will be happen in collecting tubule. And you know that the more sodium reabsorption, the more water reabsorption will also happen, and ultimately your intravascular blood volume will rise, and that will lead to hypertension. Okay, so in Liddle syndrome what happens there, it is a genetic mutations. That means this epithelial sodium channel has four subunit. These are called subunit alpha, subunit beta, and subunit gamma, and subunit delta. Okay, so all of this subunit is synthesized by a specific gene. That means for this four subunit there are four genes in your cell. Okay, this gene are SCNN1A gene. It produces alpha subunit. Another one is SCNN1B. It produces beta subunit. Another one SCNN1G. It produces gamma subunit. And last of all is SCNN1D. It produces delta subunit. Okay, so these four genes are located on chromosome number 12, chromosome number 16, and chromosome number 1. Okay, so I have described here which gene is located in which chromosome. Okay, you can see here that. Okay, so if there is any mutations, and especially in case of Liddle syndrome, the mutations happens in SCNNB and SCNNG gene. Okay, so the mutation is happened in these two gene. That means the mutation is not happened in whole epithelial sodium channel. It happens only in the beta and gamma subunit. But due to these mutations, the epithelial sodium channel cannot be downregulated from the tubular epithelial cell. That means, look at the diagram. Suppose this is renal tubules. Suppose it is collecting tubules, and here this is epithelial sodium channel, and you know that this epithelial sodium channel is synthesized by aldosterone. Okay, so a very important information is that the epithelial sodium channel is synthesized by aldosterone, and the epithelial sodium channel doesn't remain permanently in the cell membrane. That means the epithelial sodium channel synthesized and come into the cell membrane. Again, after some time, it become endocytosed into your cell, epithelial cells. Okay, so So due to this mutation in beta and gamma subunit, the epithelial sodium channel is synthesized by aldosterone, but they are not endocytosed into cell. That's why the total number of epithelial sodium channel is increased in your tubular epithelial cells. That means if this is a tubular epithelial cell, continuously aldosterone is synthesizing the epithelial sodium channel, but they are not endocytosed. They are not endocytosed. They are not endocytosed. That's why the total number of epithelial sodium channel is increased. That's why they will absorb more and more sodium from the tubular lumen. This is tubular lumen. That's why more and more sodium will be reabsorbed from your collecting tubules. So this increased sodium will ultimately causes increased water reabsorption, and this will lead to increased intravascular blood volume, and this increased intravascular blood volume will lead to increased preload afterload, and that will lead to development of hypertension. Okay, so in case of Liddle syndrome, we find clinically hypernatremia, as I have just mentioned you that increased sodium reabsorption is happened there. That's why you will find hypernatremia, and you will also find hypokalemia. Okay, I will discuss it in my diuretics series, inshallah. You know that the more sodium will drive into the collecting tubule, the more potassium will be excreted from the collecting tubular epithelial cell. That's why as more potassium is lost, that's why you will get hypokalemia, and as well as there will be more excretion or efflux of hydrogen ion from tubular epithelial cells to tubular lumen. That means more and more hydrogen will be lost. That's why your blood will be alkaline, and this will lead to metabolic alkalosis. And very important and surprising feature is that you will get low renin level and low aldosterone level in this syndrome. Okay, so all of us, we know that the renin angiotensin aldosterone system is one of the very important axis which leads to hypertension. But you can find here that there is low level of renin and aldosterone, but in spite of having low level of renin and aldosterone level, this patient of Liddle syndrome will develop hypertension. Why? Just due to increased sodium reabsorption in collecting tubule due to the genetic mutations at SCNN1B and SCNN1G gene, which leads to the failure of the endocytosis of renal tubular epithelial cells. Okay, so the main causes of hypertension in Liddle syndrome is increased absorption of sodium ion from the collecting tubules, which leads to increment of intravascular fluid volume, and that will lead to increased preload afterload, and ultimately there will be development of hypertension. Okay, so if you prescribe here the ACEE, that means angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors, you will not get enough benefit, because the angiotensin is not the culprit factor for this hypertension. The aldosterone is not the culprit factor for this hypertension. So you have to prescribe the epithelial sodium channel blocker, that means amiloride and triamterene. So the treatment for the Liddle syndrome is amiloride and triamterene. Why? Because the main culprit factor for this hypertension is increased number of epithelial sodium channel in collecting tubules. Okay, so this is all about the Liddle syndrome. Thank you everyone. I have tried my best to share my knowledge with all of you. If you like my lectures, then please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.